Awesome. So thank you so much for being here. As you all know, we lead the Leadership Institute for Black Women. It's an opportunity for individuals or companies to invest in their Black women leaders to help get them to the next level. We are so excited to have Cohort 7 here. Woohoo! Cohort 7 and our amazing facilitators today, Chanda Williams and Vanessa Williams. And we could not do this without the partnership of Graduate Philadelphia. And we are so grateful and honored to work with Graduate Philadelphia. And I'm also going to pass it off to Vanessa to share a little bit about what is Graduate Philadelphia. And then we'll introduce our facilitators, and then we will get started. So off to you, Vanessa.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Vanessa Saunders. I'm a program specialist here at Graduate Philadelphia, and I'm always pleased to join these meetings with Chantel and with Mindset Strategies. The Leadership Institute for Black Women has been a beacon for our participants. They enjoy these sessions immensely, and I know that you're going to enjoy this one today. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Graduate Philadelphia, and actually one of my colleagues was able to join me today, so I'm going to introduce him. So we do have Phil Brooks, who is our Vice President of Program and Innovation, who has joined us today. So what Graduate Philadelphia does is we work with adult learners who are interested in getting a degree, a certificate, or a credential. So it could be an industry credential that you're pursuing. So we do work with learners who are in Philadelphia, Bucks, Chester, Delaware, and Montgomery counties. And the wonderful thing about us is our services are provided free. So if you want to learn more about Graduate Philadelphia, I am going to put in the chat our contact information. So if you'd like to learn more, definitely reach out to us. Now, I am excited that once again, I'm here to learn from and to network with women who are leading in their workplaces. So I would like to say thank you so much to the presenters today for sharing their time and their knowledge.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Vanessa. Thank you so much. And with that, I'm also going to, let's see, put in the chat. Again, this is the Leadership Institute for Black Women. If anyone is interested in wanting to join our program, feel free to apply in the chat. And with that, I'm going to pass it off to Chanda and Vanessa to kick us off on our topic of today, managing up, down, and across. So off to you both.
Okay, hi guys. I will start with saying that this program has been great for me, that it has grown me in my profession a lot. And I am very grateful for being a part of this. And I hope to have lasting relationships with all of the women that are in my cohort session and meet more. So I've been a nurse for 24 years. I have my master's and my bachelor's in nursing education. I am certified in low-risk neonatal infants. I actually was an assistant nurse manager for 3 years. And then in about the last 9 months or so, I was promoted to director of the pediatric pavilion and the PTD, along with the special care nursery. It was a lot of balls to juggle, but with this program, I think I'm getting stronger and getting my feel for everything. I have 2 children and a husband, working on a dog. For the most part, that's just pretty much who I am. Chanda, I'll pass it on to you.
All right. Thank you, Vanessa. I too am very grateful for this program, this Leadership Institute for Black Women. I am very appreciative to Imagine 360 for allowing me to participate in this program. It's been a very time-consuming commitment, but very well worth it. My name is Chanda Williams. I'm a supervisor at Imagine 360. I've been with Imagine 360 for almost 30 years. It's very rewarding and a great company to work for. And that's who I am. Vanessa, I'll turn it back over to you to start the presentation.
Okay, so we will go to the next slide. So our topic is managing up, down, and across. We have introduced ourselves, so we'll go to the next slide. This is pretty much the mindset I was in when I first heard the topic. I didn't know what it is I was trying to look for or manage. So that just is a reflection of how we first felt when we first was given this assignment. Next slide, please. Managing up, down, and across. Can anyone tell me what comes to mind when speaking to the topic of managing up, down, and across, just to kind of get a feel of what everybody's understanding is of the subject matter? Any takers?
You can feel
Okay.
free to raise your hand or just unmute yourself.
Okay, we'll go to the next slide. I can share it with you.
No, wait. I'm sure
Oh.
somebody can say something. Yes, let's.
Oh, okay. It's
Way
my
to
nerves.
go.
I'm just like click, click, click.
I'll say something. Hey, everyone. It's just juggling, just getting it done any way you can, up, down, over, around, across, just going out there and taking it by the reins and just moving forward, no matter what you have to do. Almost like any means necessary approach to managing.
Right.
I'll jump in too. So when I think of managing up, down, and across, I just think about someone who's in a mid-management, upper mid-management position, who has a supervisor, who has direct reports, and have colleagues and, you know, consultants or just people that they need to partner with to get the job done. So
That's correct. Thank you, Melvina. Kelly?
I was going to also mimic what Melvina just said. Managing up, down, and across is people that do have direct reports, maybe in that middle management position where, of course, you're managing the people that report to you, but sometimes you have to manage your peers as well. That's on the same level as you to make sure you're all on the same page. And then sometimes, well, most of the times you have to manage up to your superiors, to people who you report to. So that you can get the job done where you are. So it takes all of that circumference to be able to make a successful team, because you have to report to someone to get your job done, but people have to report to you so that you can report to that person to get your job done. So yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kelly. Giovanna?
Thank you, Vanessa. Kelly, I agree with you 100%. I currently work for the federal government. So working with my coworkers as well as leadership, making sure all the moving parts are doing what they're supposed to do in order for us to be able to do our jobs. I'm happy to be here. I just wanted to say that I feel empowered just being around you, these women, a lot of women that are seasoned women in their careers and just in life in general. So I hope to learn a lot from being here, but managing up and down, you just have to switch roles and hats, many different hats at any given moment. And hey, go with the flow. Don't get hung
Absolutely.
up in titles.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And there's a
So,
few comments in the
okay.
chat too. I just wanted to mention the two chats, the comments in the chat by Michelle. Michelle mentioned managing your equal counterparts, your supervisors, and those under you. So just want to acknowledge the
That's
chat.
also correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for your comments. So now we'll go to the next slide. Managing up, down, and across refers to effectively handling relationships with your superiors, subordinates, and peers within your organization. Next slide. Managing up, down, and across at work requires continuous vigilance in all directions. It involves building strong working relationships with your boss, coworkers, and those who directly report to you. When speaking to the subject, I utilize my own work experience and relationships to gain realistic insight and obtain the tools needed to successfully achieve this goal. Next slide. In preparation for leadership, my organization recommended that a DIS assessment be taken to provide leaders with a better understanding and clarification of different personalities, perceptions, and methods of communication. By offering this framework, my organization equipped me with a tool that significantly enhanced my ability to effectively communicate when managing down and across, and assisted when managing up, down, and across, and assisted me in adapting my management style to successfully obtain working professional relationships. Next slide. The DIS assessment is a behavioral analysis tool that categorizes individuals into 4 main personality styles: dominance, influence, steadiness, and conscientiousness. Next slide. The benefits of a DIS assessments were improved self-awareness and enhanced my communication. It helped me with team building and conflict resolution. It also developed me as a leader and gave me more insights to successfully have employee engagement. And it helped manage my stress because I was able to separate different entities into the appropriate categories and deal with them accordingly based on where they fell in how in my organization. Next slide. The results of my own DIS assessment revealed that I have an influence personality, which is characterized as outgoing, persuasive, and social. My key traits are enthusiasm, optimism, and positivity. Equipped with this knowledge and ability to identify other personality traits, I was successfully able to manage up, down, and across. Next slide. So now let's talk about managing up. Managing up refers to the practice of proactively building a positive, productive relationship with your manager. The goal is to make their job easier while advancing your career and developing a cultivating and productive work rapport with your boss. Next slide. Learning your boss's management, leadership, communication styles, goals, and preferences are pivotal in managing up. Some additional key factors are keeping them informed and updated on progression, challenges, and potential risks while also anticipating their needs. When presenting problems, suggest potential solutions, show initiative by taking ownership of tasks and finding ways to increase your value. By managing up, you can influence decisions, gain support, and ensure your work aligns with the overall strategy. Next slide. Some key strategies of managing up are building trust and credibility, constantly deliver high quality work, own up to mistakes, and show a willingness to learn from them, follow through on commitment, and demonstrate reliability. Next slide. You have to be successful in managing up, adapt to their preferences, meaning your superiors. Adjust your working style to complement theirs. If they value data, provide them with data-driven reports. Clarify expectation, ensure you understand what is expected of you, and confirm timelines. Ask for clarification if instructions or goals are unclear. Next slide. Communicate proactively, provide conscious, actionable updates, anticipate the need by addressing potential questions and concerns before they arise. Adopting these practices can foster a collaborative and mutually beneficial relationship with your leadership, helping both of you to achieve your common goal. Next slide. Managing down. This refers to effectively leading and guiding your direct reports or team members. It includes setting clear expectation, providing feedback, coaching, and empowering them to achieve a common goal and perform at their best. Next slide. Clear communication. Set clear expectations and goals. Communicate regularly, providing updates, feedback, and priority changes. Ensure an open dialogue to address concerns and obstacles. Empowerment and support. You want to develop trust by delegating tasks. Provide resources, tools, and training needed to successfully reach the goal at hand. Encourage collaboration and input from team members. Next slide, please. Performance management. Monitor team and individual performance towards the goal. Provide constructive feedback and recognize and reward achievements. Address obstacles and concerns promptly and fairly. In building relationships, you should show genuine interest in team members' personal and professional lives. Foster a positive team culture. Be approachable, accessible, honest, and reliable. Have an open door policy. Next slide. Also, in managing down, some recommendations would be to adapt to individual team members' needs. Understand each team member is an individual. Take time to assess each team member's weaknesses and strengths. Understand each team member has different ways of communicating, learning, and adapting to change. Try to address each team member accordingly. Offer flexibility and accommodations as appropriate. Next slide. Lead by example. By modeling the behavior, work ethic, and attitude you expect from your team members, and in addition, demonstrate accountability and ownership for your actions. Focusing on these areas can assist in fostering a productive, motivated, and engaged team while collectively achieving organizational goals. Next slide.
So can I pause you here just a little bit, Vanessa? This is great and really good information. And I think a lot of people are trying to soak in a lot of what you're sharing because you're going through it really well and really fast. So I think people are wanting to like soak it in. So I guess when you're talking about, oh, can you hear me okay? Did I cut out?
I can hear you.
Okay. So really, when you're talking about this, I want to go back to something that you shared before about the DISC profile. And when it comes to managing up, for example, it was really important
I actually can't hear you.
Oh, no. Am I going in and out?
No, you sound much. Yeah, it looks like we lost the
Yeah, I can hear you
video
now.
for Vanessa. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So I wanted to pause you because you're giving great content and I want everybody to kind of feel it and really be nourished by it. And I wanted to go back to something you said around the importance of that DISC profile. And I think you were really sharing about how DISC is a very important, or it could be a very good assessment to really better understand our personalities. So that way, when we are managing up or down or across, we know, like if our boss is like an analytical person, for example, if we know that he might be, or she, or they might be an analytical person, in order to manage up and in order to manage your boss, you want to present data to your boss, right? You want to better understand their personality. You want to better understand what they are going for, or what kind of makes them tick, or what they really enjoy. And so when you're managing up, for example, and you know that your boss is an analytical person, you want to be able to articulate the data for that person, right? In terms of managing up and knowing their different styles and that kind of thing. And it's really important to really understand and recognize that. So just wanted to kind of massage that in a little bit, if you will, because this is really exciting and great content, but just want to massage it in a way that I think people can really hear and resonate as well. So just wanted to mention that.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. And that's absolutely correct. When speaking about managing down, one of the things that was identified by our leaderships was the stressors that we went through at work, like the patients, the overflow, everything that comes with everybody's job. And with our leadership identifying our stressors at work, the organization implemented a work-life balance initiative that allows leaderships to work from home 2 days a month or work 4 10-hour shifts in a week and have the 5th day off. And we also do team building activities outside of work to foster better relationships. So this was my leadership managing down based on feedback that we gave them, saying how it was stressful at work. We have 24-hour accountability, which means accessibility. So it sometimes spills over into your home life. And so as a, I guess, result of the complaints, they came up with this work-life balance initiative. And adopting this concept of identifying the stresses of work, I then listened to my direct reports and wanted a initiative to help them with the stresses of work. So I initiated and supported what we have as a stress first aid room, which is a room on each of my units where we have aromatherapy, candy, massager, things like that, where you can just kind of step away from it all, get 5-10 minute breaks, and then come back. We didn't want, some people aren't so outcoming with their problems. So we have this thermometer in each of the staff got a character from Winnie the Pooh, and you picked your character, you wrote your initials on it, and then in the thermometer, when you come to work, you actually place your character. It's like yellow, red, green, and red. So you kind of place it where you is to let everybody know that, maybe it's a red day for me and I'm feeling a little stressed out. So that when you say, I need to take a minute, people understand you came in, you arrived stressful, and we're gonna make sure you have your time out, but you don't have to sit here and explain everything of what's going on. The dog died, your husband's mad, whatever is happening. You can just actually put your character on the thermometer and then go into the room with no questions asked. And that was one of the initiatives I did to help with my staff with stressors at work.
Wow.
Next slide.
And I'm just curious, and how is this landing for other people, and in terms of like what they're seeing when it comes to managing up, down, and across? Yeah, Vanessa.
Hi. I was really curious about the thermometer, Vanessa. How did they receive it? Like, did they think that really changed things for them using that method?
Yeah, they did. They felt like, they already like had a bad day, they had a bad morning, got some things going on. And without going into further discussion, just to let everybody know, I'm coming in hot today and I may need that room. And then so when you do utilize it, there's no questions asked. People aren't in your business saying, what's wrong with you? Why are you in the room? What's happening? What are you stressed out about? They just give them their time. And you can use it however many times you want during the shift. It's just communicating without having to like give all the factors. Just let everybody know, and then some people come in, they have a great day. They don't need the room. They take their character, they put it in the green and say, I'm here and I'm happy. And the day goes on. And then every day the next shift comes in and they put their characters where they need to be so that we can act appropriately based on their moods at the time.
Did you find an impact on productivity?
Absolutely. Like they literally, I, bought a basic massage chair and some aromatherapy. They went and bought a bowl speaker. They went and, you know, got some lighting, like they invested into this room because they really like it, and they actually own it now and they love it. On each different unit, they have different concepts. And so now other leaderships that come by and I show them this room, they're talking about adopting the practice as well, because the other nurses are talking about what we have on our units and how it helps with the 12-hour day. So it is having a positive impact.
That is so awesome, Vanessa. And what a creative tool that you used. And also anybody on this call can consider using that tool to manage their teams or even just their colleagues, of having this timer. So I think that's brilliant. And really a great tool that you could use. So yes, keep it coming. What other tools do you have?
I know, right? I used my DISC assessment analysis and tried to get a little bit creative with it, and it went well. Like, they really liked it, and I'm like, one of my proudest things, because I feel like I can't take the stress off of you. I can't remove this annoying patient from you. Some things I just can't do. What I can do is give you a minute to go back there and say some things you don't want to say in public, and then come out. So it is help. So now I am going to pass it over to Chanda, who's going to talk about managing across.
Great job, Vanessa. I like that tool
Yeah.
too. That might even be helpful in some households.
You're right.
How did you wake up this morning? How are you right now? Like, I need a minute.
Right.
Please don't talk to me. Just let me have my space. So managing across, it's a lot of attention that's placed on managing up and managing down. But managing across, it demands its own set of communication skills. If you've ever been in a group environment, you've been managing across. Managing across involves collaborating with colleagues of the same level. Manage across is laterally influencing those who are your peers or who work in different departments or organizations. In both cases, the influence is focused on moving projects forward. Work that is aligned with broader organizational goals and objectives. So it could be, you working with someone with a different company, but on the same level. Next slide. Understanding managing across. Unlike managing up and down, neither party holds direct authority over the other. Managing across involves working with colleagues who are at the same level as you, but part of a different organization or team. It focuses on collaboration or cooperation. One peer cannot act effectively without the other's support. Next slide, please. The importance of peer relationship. It provides a support network, provides team morale, boosts retention, increases productivity, increases job satisfaction, and promotes loyalty. So even if one peer owns a task, they cannot make a decision or work effectively without the others participating. Types of peer relationships. Team peers, which could be colleagues who report to the same leader. It could be team members from a different department, as long as they're at the same level. Cross-functional peers are professionals from different departments, such as accounting and advertising. External peers, consultants, working with clients, contracts at the same level. Imaginary peers would be someone that's perceived themselves as, the same as their leader, their senior leadership, to overcome differential behavior. Next slide, please.
So Chanda, I'm curious about that imaginary, just go back 1 second, that imaginary, that's a good one. Peer, perceiving oneself as a peer to a senior leader. So in that respect, it's like really thinking potentially, you know, it could be somebody else's boss in advertising, for example, and you're thinking about that advertising boss as maybe your peer, for example, right?
Right. So
Yeah, and I think oh, go ahead, sorry.
So it's like, take my boss, for instance. And so if I want to appear to be strong and confident with my boss, I'm going to act like she's at my same level so that I don't get nervous or anxious when talking to her. It's like, you're the same as I am, so let's have this conversation.
Mhm. Yes, thank you so much for pointing that out. I think that's a really powerful point because oftentimes we see senior leaders as being senior leaders, maybe untouchable, or we do get nervous or trying to talk to our boss or even like the CEO, for example, we might feel some kind of way because we're not at their level. And I think that that imaginary peer can be a really powerful tool when talking to higher level leaders and imagining them as your peer to then be able to manage across. And I guess in some ways managing up too. So yeah, thank you so much, Chanda, for that. That's a really great, a great point there and a nice tool to think about when managing up. That's fantastic. Sorry to interrupt, but that was great.
Thank you. Manage across is different from managing up and down because of the nature of the relationship. When managing across, the goal is to build a cooperative and collaborative environment where both parties work together towards a common commitment. So hopefully, in that case, you're communicating and there's no conflict. We're on the same page. Next slide, please. Shifting from differential to peer-like behaviors. Overcoming differential behavior is a challenge when dealing with perceived senior peers. A mental shift is essential. Start seeing yourself as an equal. Shifting will not only boost your confidence in yourself, but also foster stronger and more balanced relationships. So here, it is better to see yourself as an equal to your senior leader in order to feel that strong and confident about yourself. You know, this is playing with a different mindset as to how you see senior relationships. Next slide, please. Key strategies for managing across. Deeper listening. With deeper listening, you use the language, you use your peers' language. Don't edit it. Repeat their words so that they know that you're listening and not coming up with your own conclusion as to what you think you heard. They know that you heard them because you're using their words. Understanding priorities and goals. Clarify differing goals by asking about priorities. If someone is not taking into account the priorities that you have, you may want to ask them, I know, or mention, like, I know that you're busy, but what do you see as your priority that's taking priority over the tasks that were presented earlier? Or you might even want to ask, what do you see as the priority in your perspective? And so if you communicate what both priorities are, there's some clarity from differing goals. Clarifying success. Reframe questions to focus on outcomes. In this case, your peers' success may not look like yours. So you might ask the question, what does success look like to you? Or a better question may be, what is the outcome that you're looking for? It'll be more quantitative as opposed to the prior question. Next slide, please. Building trust and collaboration is essential in managing across. Developing trust and fostering collaboration are critical components of mastering across. Use questions to build rapport and to align efforts such as, what do you want to learn from me? For example, I want to learn from you how to use the GBAS system more effectively. What do you want to teach me? I want you to teach me the processes of your team's, the processes that your team use so that we can work more effectively together. So I know what you're doing and I know what you're doing and you know what I'm doing. What do you want to build together? What do you want this experience to be like? These questions not only enhance understanding, but also set a foundation for collaborative partnership. Next slide, please. Managing up, down, and across. So applying the 5 love languages, there's 3 that's important in managing across. Quality time. Make sure you schedule those one-on-ones for informal interaction. Words of affirmation. Let your peer know that they're doing good. Let them shine. Don't, try to take the credit. Let them shine, repeat it to other people in the organization, how well that other person is doing. Acts of service. Offer resources and remove obstacles, roadblocks. Make their life easier. Ask them, what can I do to help you to make your department or your area run smoother? Next slide, please. Developing personal connection. Build personal relationships by understanding peers' interests, passions, and dreams. Share personal stories to create deeper connections. So while you're asking them to share, make sure that you're willing to share. Foster trust by being open and generous up front. Proactive communication. Keep peers informed and let them take ownership of successes. Next slide, please. Managing proactive communication involves sharing information in advance, aiming to prevent misunderstandings and keep peers informed. This brings about clarity. Communicating early can bring expectations into alignment. When expectations are aligned, collaboration is easier, and all parties focus on meeting expectations rather than harboring frustration and resentment after discovering that misalignment. Keep peers informed about changes early on, allows them to take ownership for, and credit for shared successes. This not only builds trust, but also ensures that everyone feels valued and important. Next slide. Actions. Listen more deeply. Get curious about your peers' perspective and priorities. Be a giver. Support your peers. Help them be seen, heard, and successful. Mastering managing across elevates leadership, communication skills, and fosters success. Next slide. When receiving feedback from your peers, visualize trusted individuals to stay objective and non-defensive. This mental shift helps you receive and process feedback constructively. Mastering the art of managing across is critical in leadership communication skills. By fostering cooperation, collaboration, and mutual support, you can build strong, effective peer relationships and drive success for you and your organization. Start implementing success for you and your organization. Start implementing these strategies today and watch your leadership soar. So originally we had scheduled to do a breakout room for 15 minutes, but it looks like with the time, Chantel, do you think 5 minutes would be okay?
Yes, let's do maybe a quick 7 minutes. Let's give them a little bit more time in breakout rooms.
Okay.
How many, and I'll take care of that. How many people do you want in a breakout room? Or how do you, yeah,
We have,
do you,
next slide, please. We have
We have
three
questions.
we have three breakout room things. So however many people we have on the Zoom, divided by 3 ways.
okay, so you want to have 3 rooms, and do you want them labeled as to which rooms? Like one is managing up, one is managing down? Do you want it like
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Yes.
One is
Okay.
down, 2 is up, and 3 would be across.
Okay, so just to make things a little bit easier and a little bit more more efficient, I'm just going to put people in rooms. And so I'm going to put it here. So room 1, if you're in room 1, that's going to be managing down. Okay. Room 2 is going to be managing up. And room 3 is going to be managing across. Okay. Okay. So everybody's already in a room. We will do 7 minutes for the room, and tell them what they're supposed to be doing in this room.
So,
So go ahead.
go ahead, Vanessa.
In this room, each group will have a question that just speaks to managing up, managing down, and across. We'll put out a question, and depending on the subject matter, like if it's managing down, just an example of how would you utilize effectively execute this managing down style. So it's different scenarios, and what would you do in these scenarios?
And the scenarios are on the screen.
So are these the scenarios? Should we put them in the chat? So the
Yes.
first one is, as a manager, Vanessa, Vanessa Saunders, are you able to put this in the chat? Those questions?
Yes, I can try to do that.
Okay, so with that, we're going to send you into breakout rooms. So it looks like the managing down, you're going to be talking about how do you manage down more effectively. It looks like room 2, how do you manage up more effectively? And then room 3, how do you manage across more effectively? All right. We have 7 minutes and off you go. Oop, you know what? Let me bring back Vanessa. I'll bring them back to the main room.
Oh, they're not supposed to be in the. I hope they can see
I'll bring
this
them
in
to
their
the main
rooms.
room. I'm trying to bring Vanessa back to the main room.
She
And
doesn't want to come back.
for some reason. Oh, okay. Hold on.
I
All
got kicked
right.
out of my room.
Yeah, did you guys want to be in those rooms? I figured since you're facilitating, you didn't have to be.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
want to be in there?
No, it's okay.
Okay, yeah. Usually when you're facilitating, you don't necessarily go in the rooms, you let them figure it out, and then you come back and kind of debrief. But yeah, you guys are doing great. You're doing
Oh my
great.
God, I am so nervous. My back is sweating. I'm like,
Yes, no, it's okay. I understand. Yeah, I hope you didn't mind me jumping in there.
No,
'Cause
I appreciated that because I was just on auto zone, just like going.
yes, yes, yes. And so I wanted to yeah, just because I think people were really
And it's clear amongst the team how me as a peer, when I see you breaking that code of conduct or just not upholding that code of conduct, I have the right to say something and you have the right to respond in a way that is positive and productive. And if you don't, then I elevate it. And it's kind of like a 1, 2, 3 strike experience where I tell you, I may tell you again or write it down for you, and then I'm elevating it to the supervisor because it is something that not only impacts you, but it impacts me, the rest of the team, and our participants or our constituent base. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did. Yes, you
Okay,
did.
great,
And
great.
and and
I love that.
and also too, it helps to it won't be your work besties. It could be somebody that's the opposite of your personality, and that way you get to know someone else as well, other than your work bestie. So yeah, it worked, and you can collab more effectively. And yeah, and it might be a different because I may be quiet and that person may be outspoken, but it works, it works, the balance.
I love that. Thank you.
Awesome, great. Someone from team 2 and managing up.
Okay,
Don't all.
you got it? Okay, I'll talk. It's Kelly Warren. So we talked, me and a few ladies talked about managing up, and managing up puts us in that pretty middle category where you have someone who you report to, but you also have people that report to you as well. And we really honed in on actually pushing back when you have to manage up. We need to understand the expectations that's expected of us to of the directive. And then we also need to be able to, in order to execute that, to be able to push back. So one of the ladies said that even when you push back, to make sure you have the resources when you push back, say XY, I can't do XYZ because I need ABC. So when they give you those resources, you're able to complete the job. So managing up is just like managing down, but you also have the ability to gain the resources from um, when you're managing up, which are normally your superiors and people who you report to. They don't always understand that you may not have the resources, but the directive that they're giving you is not optional. They're normally your boss, and it's something that you have to do. So we're just getting the resources from our the people who we report to in order to do our job.
Thanks, Kelly. So someone from breakout room 1 and managing up.
Managing down.
Down, yes.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Did anyone from our group want to report out? I just wrote down a few things. I didn't want to jump ahead. We talked about in managing down, setting clear expectations, empowering staff who are reporting up, encouraging staff, pulling out the best in people, and giving folks an active role in decision making and empowering them to have ownership in decisions. Does anyone want to add to that? Those were our 4 main points, I think.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Okay, can we, I guess now we will have any question answer. I do have a conclusion slide that I can read off, if possible. It might be the next one. Yep, that one.
Vanessa, can you go one slide back?
Going back? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So in summary, managing up, down, and across is crucial for creating supportive, efficient, and high-performing work environment, ensuring both personal and organizational groups. The essential tool of managing up, down, and across can be utilized to create and maintain strong work relationships by fostering collaboration and ensuring the success of both the individual and organization. Any questions? Okay, that concludes our presentation. Thanks for your time.
All right, all right, all right. Well, thank you so much, Vanessa and Chanda, for your presentation. It was packed full of content and so very rich. So thank you so much for your hard work in putting this together. And I know facilitation is not your daily job, so you guys did a great job in putting this together and really putting together a really full of content packed session. And I really want to say thank you all to all of you for showing up, for being here, for being a part of this training and supporting our amazing leaders that are part of our Leadership Institute, and for hopefully taking away some really good tips and things as well. I also want to thank our partnership with Graduate Philadelphia, and I'll pass it off to you, Vanessa, to say a few last words as well. And you can stop sharing the screen too, if that's helpful, so we can see everybody.
I will keep it brief. So thank you so much to Vanessa and Chanda for helping me learn what managing across means. So wonderful presentation. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today.
Excellent. And be sure to come back next week. We have another group that will be giving their presentation as well. I believe next Tuesday, February 25th, I believe, as well. Other leaders from our Leadership Institute will be here as well. So hopefully you've signed up for that. And if you are interested in applying for our next cohort starting in March, the link was in the chat, so we hope to see you potentially in our next cohort. Thank you all so much for.
Chantal, there's a question in the chat.
Oh, okay. Thank you for catching that.
The presentation being available later.
That's up to you guys. You are the creators of the content. Would you like to share your PowerPoint with others? Well, we can talk about that offline.
Yeah.
Okay, then yes, if the creators of the presentation don't mind it to be sent out, then we will send it out to all those that are registered on Eventbrite. So if you've registered on Eventbrite, we have your information and we'll be able to send it out to you that way. Awesome. Any other questions? All right. Well, if there's no questions, thank you all again so much for being here. And we look forward to seeing you next week as well, if you're available. Thank you again, Chanda and Vanessa. Fantastic job.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Well done.
Have a good one.